We're back with a new One Punch Man chapter, the continuation of the S-rank heroes versus the monster cadre, and Garo is on the loose. Unfortunately, he's not really in this chapter. All we get is this promo image of him, which is still kind of neat because he has that really sick pose that he had when he was fighting Orochi. And you also got to remember that at the end of the last chapter, we saw in his fight with Silverfang, his mentor, it seemed like his body started to crack and everything, so that may just be like a cocoon that's going to break open and we'll see his true monster form, possibly. So we're going to take a little break from the Garo vs Silverfang fight and go to the other S-rank heroes fighting against the monster cadre. Here we have Homeless Emperor just shooting his barrage of blasts, and we have a couple of the swordsmen who are left, the A-rank swordsmen, who are trying to defend them and deflect them off. Now this chapter is really focused around Atomic Samurai, and if you remember in the last chapter that he was fighting with the Council of Swordmasters who all got melted at the hands of Vomited for Her Ugly, he was given the legendary Sunblade, an ancient mega powerful sword that was crafted on an ancient continent that fell into the ocean, and the leader of the Council of the Swordmasters, Nichiren, whose body got melted off by For Her Ugly, had given Atomic Samurai this legendary blade. And now, here in this chapter, he's going to use it for the first time. We're going to see the full capabilities of this just absolutely insane weapon that Atomic Samurai was just gifted. So right now, Atomic Samurai is number 4 on the ranks of the S-class heroes, but you will see that with this blade, this man, I don't know, maybe he surpassed Bang. It's like he has gotten so crazy strong. And also in the lore behind the Sunblade, there is a legendary Moonblade, and if you get both weapons, you basically become a Swordmaster God. So that's something to look forward to for Atomic Samurai in the future. So now he's going to brace himself. He's going to use the sword for the very first time. He's going to remember some talking points about the weapon and how to use it from his old master Nichiren. And he begins to pull out the blade, and just light starts to shine out of the sheath. So you can tell that this thing is going to go ham, boys. Now in the panels in the top upper left, he's talking about Bang, and he also is showing us some water there. I don't have the translations yet, I'll get them tomorrow. But I believe that he's saying here that with this blade, I will surpass Bang's Fist of Flowing Water Crushed Rock technique. So Homeless Emperor fires out just this mega nuke that is too big for Ian and Spring Mustachio to potentially stop, and that's when Atomic Samurai unsheaths the Sun Sword and flies towards this massive explosion. Now even Homeless Emperor, everybody is looking at him in amaze. Like, this man is just pulling out like the full epic anime swordman slash, like flying up against the enemy. Like, look at this art, dude. That picture in the top left, that's got to be the thumbnail. There you see the Sunblade for the first time without the sheath, and it almost looks like it's molding onto his hand. Look at his face there. It's all blackened out. Like, it looks like Saitama when he gets serious. God, I love that art so much. And he slashes, and it appears to shatter Homeless Emperor's entire death ball of energy. And as he's coming in towards Homeless Emperor at light speed, Homeless Emperor is trying to shoot more blasts at him, but he seems to just be deflecting all of them with the sword, and then comes in for the kill, but Golden S appears right in front of Homeless Emperor and actually protects him, which I'm very curious as to why he would do that, because they have been talking back and forth about like basically backstabbing each other at any moment, and maybe Golden S is saying something here like, while I'd like Homeless Emperor to die, I may need his help to beat you, because I'm very, very surprised that he actually came in here to help Homeless Emperor. I mean, there was chapters on all this foreshadowing that, you know, they would stab each other in the back. That's not happening here. The cadre, who really don't care much about each other, they're just kind of working together to kill all the heroes, now all of a sudden are working together. I mean, that would be bad news for the heroes. But that slice from Atomic Samurai did not go unnoticed and unfazed, as Golden S, one of the strongest fighters in the entire One Punch Man universe that we have seen so far, gets his arm sliced off by that blade. And you got to realize how insanely strong Golden S is at that point, because Vomited for Her Ugly's acid killed so many people, it did literally nothing to Golden S, and he showed strength feats even stronger than For Her Ugly and other villains and heroes. I mean, Golden S is a top tier dragon level, potentially even stronger than Orochi, and Atomic Samurai just sliced his freaking arm off. Now there's two other very important things that happen in this panel. For one, the Sunblade appears to be able to turn into some sort of whip. So Atomic Samurai slices off Golden S's arm and then appears to whip it back to him, and then his sheath eats it. So the Sunblade is not only capable of cutting through seemingly impenetrable things, but it can also turn into a whip, and the sheath can eat it, presumably either sealing it off or giving the Sunblade even more power. Maybe that's one of the secrets of the Sunblade. You have to kind of feed it to have all of that energy, and you feed it by killing things and consuming them in a sense. In doing so, Atomic Samurai actually falls to the ground, and you can see that he's out of breath and seems to have taken a lot of damage. So this Sunblade is not something that you can use lightly. It appears that it requires a ton of energy, both from the user, and in order to maintain its power, it's got to like eat the, energy of other people as well. This thing is just like raw consumption, which I guess kind of is, makes sense with the sun and everything. Now, I assume that Atomic Samurai took a lot of that damage just from kind of deflecting the blast from Homeless Emperor, and now Homeless Emperor is going to charge up another Death Ball. I guess he figures Atomic Samurai can't do that again, and you get this great shot of Golden S walking towards them as they're borderline defeated, and that's when King shows up, and the King engine is going off as he stands on a cliff overlooking a million Golden S's, or at least thousands of them. Now, we had actually saw King arrive like a few chapters ago, and he was standing on a cliff, and I guess now he's finally there. He's now ready to take some action, and pretty much all of the heroes are screwed. I mean, they're all like laid out. Tatsumaki's passed out. Genos has no limbs left. He's got no energy. He can't move. All the swordsmen seem to be almost completely out of energy. Then we do actually get Metal Bat, who arrives, and he's pretty much full stamina. I don't know if he's been fighting. Maybe he's been fighting some Golden S's or something like that, but it's nice to finally get Metal Bat up in here. I mean, I'm sure that he'd be a really good adversary to Black S. I don't know if he could beat Golden S. Probably not, but that would actually be a really good fight. Now, this battle with King and all of the monster cadre that's going on, I'm going to jump into a little bit of spoilers here, and it's not necessarily spoilers because the fight with Garo and Bang did not happen in the webcomic. So as we jump into webcomic spoilers, it may not all necessarily come true, but what's going to happen here, all of the villains are pretty much, they're scared of King. They've heard stories about him, the world's strongest man. The King engine is going off right now, and this picture is just beautiful, by the way, of him overlooking all the villains. And he's going to go into some internal dialogue here, talking about Saitama. That's when Child Emperor and Prey Prisoner lift up some rocks, and they're there as well. They're happy to see him. But what's going to happen is he's going to actually use his ultimate technique, the ultimate Hellfire wave motion cannon. And as he announces this, it pretty much scares the living crap out of Golden S and all the other villains. They get terrified. He actually ends up not shooting it. And the funny thing about it is the villains are like, oh, he probably just didn't shoot it because he didn't want to hurt a hostage, right? But in that moment, what's supposed to happen is Garo is supposed to come out and just start taking everybody out. He's taking out all the villains out. He's supposed to punch Golden S's face in, but he's preoccupied right now with Bang. So I feel like the next chapter must be the conclusion to Bang and Garo, because based on the webcomic spoilers, Garo should be transitioning to fighting the other people very, very soon. So I feel like Bang has to lose, or maybe the fight gets interrupted or something like that. Overall, it's a pretty cool chapter. I mean, I love Atomic Samurai. He's actually one of my favorite S-rank heroes. It's too bad it was short, and it's too bad we didn't get more Garo, but I think Murata's back on track to start releasing these chapters about every 2 weeks, so I'm always happy to see more Murata art, especially this one with Atomic Samurai. It's just so beautiful. Anyways, guys, I'm Mastar. If you enjoyed the chapter, please leave a thumbs up, and if we get any crazy translations here to change anything, obviously I'll make another video on it. Alright, boys, I'll see you in the next one.